Welcome back. Self-funded tertiary education institutions are seeing a shrinking pool of students, which could pose a financial problem for them. But with lax financial transparency regulations governing private institutions, some are concerned students are not being protected from potentially collapsing schools. Winna Wong reports.
The Education Bureau predicts that in 2020, secondary school graduates in Hong Kong will reach a new low, mainly due to a low birth rate. With the shrinking market, 7 publicly funded institutions are already reporting deficits. And how are self-funded post-secondary schools doing? The Education Bureau says since these schools are self-financing, they are not obligated to report their financial numbers to the government. A government report updated last year recommended institutions to publish annual and financial reports to ensure greater transparency and accountability. To date, the information remains missing from school websites. And when asked directly, many were unwilling to talk about their financial situation. TVB News got hold of some schools' annual reports from the company's registry and found there are institutions in deficit of up to some $10 million. Feng Waihua, the convener of a sub-degree concern group, says it's unfair and dangerous that schools are hiding their finances until they're almost going bust. Prospective students have the right to know whether the schools they're interested in can hold up over the years they plan to spend there. Chairman of the Federation for Self-Financing Tertiary Education, Peter Yun, says it cannot force schools to reveal their finances because the public may not understand what the numbers mean. Responding to the matter, the Education Bureau says the Hong Kong Council for Accreditation of Academic and Vocational Qualifications is studying the situation and expects a report by the end of the year. Winna Wong, TVB News.
2 consecutive accidents in Tai Lam Tunnel today led to serious traffic jams for hours. At around 1 p.m., a cement mixer and a container truck collided into one another inside the tunnel. The concrete mixer turned on its side. Both drivers suffered minor injuries. The side bound for Yuen Long was completely closed, but the slow lane reopened about half an hour later. However, a second accident involving 4 vehicles forced the lane to close down again. As a result, the Kowloon-bound tube was used for two-way traffic.
The TVB News production manager was today questioned over the authenticity of video evidence in the trial of the 7 policemen charged with assaulting Occupy protester Ken Zhang. Adam Shu reports.
The 7 policemen were back at the district court, still dressed identically. The prosecution summoned TVB News production manager David Wong to testify today. The High Court earlier ruled the news outlets did not have to hand over their raw footage. 8 video clips downloaded by the police through the TVB News app were shown in court today. Wong confirmed the clips shown were the same as those in TVB's library. He said they were part of one continuous piece of footage taken by one camera, but that 20 to 30 seconds of shots were edited out for the news as the camera showed nothing but the back of a car. Otherwise, Wong said the footage uploaded to the TVB website was essentially unedited. Defense counsel Lawrence Law questioned whether Wong had ever spoken to the cameraman responsible for the footage, or he was simply testifying based on what he saw. Wong said he had not talked to the cameraman, but as the footage was being fed to the server in real time, it was impossible to be tampered with as he understood it. Another lawyer for the defendants, Chang Huan, challenged that the part edited out was actually 49 seconds long. He asked that, with this part missing, how Wong could be certain about the sequence of the events. Wong said he had seen the raw footage and was therefore sure that the footage was from a single continuous shot. Earlier, the prosecution also called Senior Inspector Fu Chun-yip to the witness stand. Fu recalled he was there to assist his colleagues in subduing a man in black who was resisting fiercely. Fu said he asked one of the fellow officers to rinse the man's eyes as the man claimed he was suffering from pepper spray. Asked whether he thought the footage submitted to the court was selective, Fu said he preferred to call it edited for the sake of news value. But after being challenged by the defense side that Fu had never been a journalist, Fu admitted what he said was merely guessing.
On whether the news footage should be accepted as evidence, Ken Zhang will be summoned to testify in court on Tuesday afternoon. Adam Shu, TVB News.
Thousands of Israelis marched through the old city of Jerusalem amid high tension Sunday. They took to the streets to commemorate the capture of the city's eastern sector in the 1967 Six-Day War. Waving Israeli flags and chanting, the marchers paraded through Jerusalem's ancient core, including the Muslim quarter. The area is home to the city's most sensitive holy sites. The march came amid a 9-month wave of Israeli-Palestinian violence and just one day before the start of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Police took extra precautions and no incidents were reported by nightfall. Israel captured East Jerusalem in the 1967 war and considers it part of its eternal, undivided capital. Palestinians want the eastern sector as the capital of their future state.
Muhammad Ali's body was flown on Sunday afternoon to his hometown in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where the boxing legend will be laid to rest in a city grieving the loss of its favorite son. Dozens of people gathered at the Louisville Islamic Center yesterday for an interfaith service to celebrate the life of their hometown hero. Ali converted to Islamic faith and refused to fight in the Vietnam War, though it cost him years of his boxing career. Outside of Ali's childhood home, his brother called him a loving man and the kindest person who would do anything for anyone in need. A public memorial service is planned for Friday in Louisville. All right, Chris, what do you have for us in sports today?
Some basketball. Yeah, it's getting a little bit out of hand, I think. The Golden State Warriors routing the Cleveland Cavaliers to take a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. The Warriors are now halfway to defending the title. Jameson Wong has more.
Close game early as the Cavs look to steal one on the Warriors' home.